Thanks so much, Sister Anne, for your sweet song. May the Lord God bless you and increase you from every side. We are proud to have you, and I believe that the Lord will take you to higher heights. Now, today, as I have been promising, I'm going to introduce to us a call to the hurting man. And before I do that, I want to welcome all of us in our beloved country, Kenya. From every corner, I want to take this opportunity humbly to welcome all of us to join Mataro TV, even as we engage on this topic of a call to the hurting man. I want us to cross the borders and welcome our brothers and sisters in Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, South Sudan, and the whole of Africa, not forgetting to welcome on board them that are in Arab countries, them that are in US, Germany, England, that is Britain, and other parts of the world. You are most welcome to join us live on Mataro TV. Be reminded that this is where you are trained to understand yourself, to understand how best to use what you have, and above all, to receiving words of encouragement on a daily basis. But right now, I want us to get prepared, even as I give us the introduction, the vision, the mission, and the motto of A Call to the Hurting Man. Now, what is our vision? Because everything that must grow must have a vision. Our vision is that we are a global team that seeks to bring emotional healing to every hurting man. And what is our mission? It is to create a conducive platform where men can share their emotional pains. And what is our motto? Our motto is to give every hurting man an ear. We want to listen to every hurting man. That is the purpose as to why we are on this discussion. I know millions of men all over the world are hurting, and they are looking for a shoulder from where they can cry from. Now here comes a shoulder from where you can cry on, and I encourage all of us to send your questions. We'll be having some live discussions, and I believe it will be hot. Thank you so much for tuning in Mataro TV. To those of us that are in Facebook, please take your time to connect with your friends and your neighbors. Please tell them you are live on Mataro TV. We are here for you, and I believe that you're going to enjoy, not to endure. We also want to encourage them that are in YouTube to encourage their friends to join and subscribe. And I believe it will not be a waste of time when you take time to listen to these words of wisdom. I believe it's gonna be okay with you. It's gonna be a transforming moment for you. And also to them that are on Twitter and Instagram, we also encourage you to share with your brothers, your friends, and the like, them that are connected to you. Please let them know that we are live on Mataro TV. And now, before I get started, I want us to switch out to the other side of the studio and get a number from the other side of the studio. And I promise that we are not going to let you down. We are not going to frustrate you, but we are going to give you the best. Okay, let's join the song from the other side of studio, and God bless you as you take time to learn more. Jesore kwa video agethie ngethise mane marena rutu wake athiriire kuhoya arena ruo roige ererio gĩkombe Tomorrow Thanks so much, Pastor Jedida, for your sweet song. May the Lord God bless you and increase you from every side. We are happy to have you on Mataro TV. Now, today I want to give us some introduction of who is this hurting man. And before we get into the depth of our topic, I want to define the man. Now, the question comes in. Who is a man? Now, in simple terms, a man is composed of 6 pillars. Or God created a man and deposited in him some 6 pillars. That's why I'm saying a man is composed of 6 pillars. Namely, number 1, that he is a leader. Number 2, he is a provider. And number 3, a man is a protector. Number 4 is that a man must be hardworking. Number 5 is that a man is a counselor. And number 6 is that a man is a priest in his own capacity. Now, you bear me witness that a majority of us do not know that. And when we define a man longly, we expect some long results. And that's why I'm taking time to train us to understand who a man is and how he should conduct himself in this life. So today, a majority of us believe a man is a man because they are in trousers, which is very wrong. Others believe that a man is a man because maybe they have attained a certain age, or they have grown some beards. That's another long definition. And other people also believe that a man is a man because they can marry and start children. That one can also qualify any one of us men to become real men, or such as stories that cannot offer solutions. And this is why Mataro TV is coming to you live to educate you on how best to understand a man. And I want to encourage every woman everywhere to join us in these teachings, because you need to understand these people. And the moment you lose contact with them, the moment you don't understand them, it will be hell on earth down here. And we also want to encourage every man to follow us, because you also need to understand yourself in order for you to utilize that which God has deposited in you. Now, you'll bear also me witness that every house that has no good foundation, it does not matter the decorations that comes with it. At the end of the day, what we must expect is that that house will corrupt some days. And this is what is needed to be understood by many. If every man will not find a mentor who help them build a strong foundation, such men will frustrate many, not only in the society but also in their country, or in the countries where they belong. And so today, I want us to dig deeper to understand many things that concerns the life of a man. We are saying we are out here to bring back sanity. We are on air to try and train many to understand themselves and to understand where they lost it all. Yes, I say it again. We are on air to help many understand themselves and also to help them understand where they lost it all. So today we want to take this to a notch higher. We want to understand many things. Now that a man is a leader, what is expected of such a leader? Now, the first thing before we get to ask ourselves some various questions concerning man's leadership, we must understand who is a leader. Now, this is how we begin it all. that every boy child must be made to understand from birth that they are leaders. Number two, they must be taught to understand that leadership is not a title. Yes, the number one, I've just said that every boy child, they must be taught to understand from birth that they are leaders. And number two, they must also be taught to understand that leadership is not a title. Now, number three, they must also be trained to understand that if you cannot lead yourself, you don't qualify to lead others. And that's where now mentorship comes in. It is the duty of a good father, a gracious father, to nurture his boy to understand this kind of a process. And now mentorship, when it comes now to nurturing a boy child, they must be taught from the word go that mentorship is a process, and a very long process. It does not just start within some days and end after some days. It takes a long time to come to maturity, or to come to a point of understanding. And so another thing now a mentor introduces to his son is for his son to understand that as much as God is pleased to deposit leadership in every man, it is in every man, they must also understand that God did not create a perfect man. As much as God is pleased to deposit leadership in every son, in every man, that should not qualify any one of us to live a perfect life. No, leadership is not leadership is not having it all, but leadership must also be understood that even if you have the deposit of leadership, you have weaknesses, you have failures, you have mistakes that you'll make. And so a father introduces his son to understand that there is no leader that is without mistakes. Yes, a father introduces to his son to understand that there is no leader that is without mistakes. So every leader will make mistakes, whether educated or illiterate, they will make mistakes. Whether poor or rich, they will make mistakes. Tall or short, slender or maybe those that we may nickname whatever we want to nickname. Now all of us in leadership will make mistakes. And now the worst part of it is that not many of us are able to accept mistakes when we make mistakes. And this is why it is important that every boy child have a mentor. Because if they are not trained from the early age to understand that there is no leader that is without mistake, and every leader will make mistake, let me tell you, if they are not trained to understand that, it will be hell on this earth. Now, the worst part of every man is this. Every man have a weakness. We don't have what it takes. We don't have the power to accept our mistakes. And it has troubled us from creation up to the day today. Every man, whether caught red-handed or not, they'll always find for an excuse why it happened. They don't just agree, or they don't just accept any mistakes. Even when they genuinely commit a mistake, they'll always look for an excuse. Why? Because they don't have what it takes, or they don't have the strength to accept their failures and mistakes. And when I dig to understand more, I find in the Bible that the first man, when he was caught red-handed by God, did not accept his mistakes. He did not own his own mistakes. And so the problem did not start with us. The problem started a long time ago, and we've been struggling with this problem for generations. So do not stone any man who refuses to accept their mistake. Just understand they have a weakness to accept their failures and mistakes. And that's why Mataro TV is taking time to train and to teach men to understand how best to handle themselves in their weaknesses and in the times of making mistakes. Now, the thing is, the best of it when somebody makes a mistake is this, that when you accept your own mistakes, you give yourself some allowance, you give yourself another chance to recorrect what mistake you had made. And if you allow yourself to accept your mistakes, you qualify to become a better leader than you were yesterday. And so today, a majority of us men have retarded. I would use that word, that we have retarded in our leadership, because you can only rise to leadership according to how much you've been able to accept or refuse your mistakes, or refuse to accept your mistakes. Your leadership can only grow to a height from where you've been able to accept your own mistakes and failures, or from where you have not been able to accept your failures and mistakes. So a majority of us have what we call retarded leadership. And that's why we are taking now time to train all of us men to understand the importance of accepting our failures and mistakes in order for us to grow our leadership. Now, before I get continued, or before we get to continue further, I want us to switch to the other side of the studio and get a song to comfort us. I know this is a bitter herb, but we have to accept it the way it is. We have no choice. And so let us welcome the song that is coming on air from the other side of the studio. And be reminded, Mataro TV, we are here for you. Thank you so much, our sister, for your good song. May the Lord God bless you. Remember, this is Mataro TV coming to you live from our studios. May the Lord bless you for connecting with Mataro TV. Be reminded to share with your friends, with your relatives, your neighbors, brothers and sisters. Just let them know that we are live on Mataro TV. And we have a very moving topic today on a call to the hurting man. Now, we've just discovered that a majority of us men have no capability of accepting their failures and mistakes. And the story did not start with us. It started with the first man, Adam. Even when he was caught red-handed in it, he refused to accept, and he exposed every man to whatever troubles and problems and pains of life that we undergo every single day. Now, I want to let all of us understand that every moment we are not able to accept our failures and mistakes, the battle is lost from there, and it does not matter how well you know, how well you deferred whatever happened, that the story is, it's a gone case, it's a lost battle, and it is lost forever. We cannot recover whatever is lost when we are not able to accept our failures and mistakes. Now, it is common sense to understand this, because a majority of us sometimes try to twist the truth that failure and mistakes will be part of this journey of life, whether we are young or old, educated or not educated, rich or poor. Failure and mistakes will be part of leadership. Even in our current leadership, don't expect angels. To those that are elected to posts of authority, you must understand that failure is part of them, and mistake will also be part of that. But the difference between a failure who just want to fail and do nothing, the difference between a failure who just want to fail and do nothing, that difference between a failure and a winner is that when you fail and you just refuse to wake up from your failure, you become a loser. But when you fail and you accept your failures and make some correction or do it better than how you did it, you become a winner. Yes, this is very important, that all of us have a chance to become failures or winners, and it all depends on how best we accept or refuse to accept our mistakes or our failures. So this one should never quit our thinking, that leadership is about our mind. A mentor will tell his son that leadership is about our mind. And it is well said that our perception is our reality. And also in the Bible, in the Holy Scripture, if we can borrow from Proverbs 23 and verses 7, the Bible says, as the man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So in other words, you cannot grow your leadership beyond your perception. That is the truth of the matter. None of us men can grow their leadership beyond their perception. That's why we are saying leadership is about the mind. It is not about making noise. It is not about shouting. It is about what is in your mind. And this is something that ought to be understood by all. That whatever you see in your mind, that is who you are. Whatever perception you have in your mind, that becomes your reality. So if you cannot accept your mistakes, there is no miracle that will be performed for you to become a better leader. You'll only make a lot of noise, but little actions. We need to understand, men, we were not called to make noise. Men, we were not called to argue and those arguments that are of no benefit. Now, men, we were called to over leadership. That is very, very key and very important, that every man, whether old or young, we were called to offer leadership. We were not called to politicize. We were not called to make noise. It is good to make politics because there is the language of the politician. Politicize everything that you want to politicize, but we are expecting more than your politics. So every leader who is following must understand that we were not called of God, or God never created us to make noise. God never created us to shout. God created us to offer solution in terms of leadership. That is the truth of the matter. And that's why I'm saying leadership is about what is in your mind. Now, if your perception is not good enough, you can never take people beyond such heights. So you can only lead people to where your mind or to where your perception is. So if you see yourself defeated in your mind, the end result of it all will be defeat. And that's why sometimes I talk to politicians, and I hope they will not stone me, that if you are given a chance to offer leadership for 5 years and you never performed, let you not lie to us that there are miracles that you are going to perform when we give you another chance. If it never worked for you, it will never work again. You only need to understand that if you cannot accept you failed, you cannot develop from there. Even when we give you another chance, you still come to that level and you'll frustrate a majority who are expecting from you. Now listen to this. It is important for every father to understand that you can only take your family to a level where your perception is. You cannot take your family beyond your perception. And it is important for every father to understand that you can only take your family to your level of perception, because your perception is your reality. We are saying leadership is about the mind. You can only take a country as a national leader. You can only take us to where your perception is, to where your level of understanding is. That is very key. And that's why we need mentors who mentor our sons, who mentor our girls to become real women and to become real men. Leadership is about taking responsibility. And because I don't want to hurry you into this, I don't want to rush you into this, I want us to turn to the other side of the studio and get a number such that we'll be able to comfort ourselves even as we get moving towards where we want to go. Now, let us welcome this song that is coming live from Mataro TV, and I hope you're going to enjoy. Thanks so much, our sister, for such a sweet song. May God bless you and increase you from every side. Remember, this is Mataro TV Live, and we are trusting that you're enjoying our topic of the day. Now, we are only saying that when you're not able to accept your failures and mistakes, there will never come any miracle that will help you develop or manage yourself better than you are today. Listen to this. The best that you need to hear is that there is all that you need when you allow yourself to accept your failures and mistakes. You give yourself enough chance to improve yourself. You give yourself enough chance to develop yourself. When you are able to accept your failures and mistakes, you are able also to break your barriers. And these are barriers of leadership. These are barriers of leadership. I repeat myself. So when you refuse to accept your failures and mistakes, you build for yourself barriers. You limit yourself. You limit your leadership. But the moment you accept your failures and mistakes, and you find the grace to recorrect, or to do things better, or to change your mode of doing things and do them better, you stand a chance of becoming a very good leader. You stand a chance of becoming a seasoned leader. Now, what happens when we are not able to follow through the process? When we are not able to accept our failures and mistakes, a majority of us start looking for excuses. And we have 1,000,001 excuses why things never worked for me, why things never worked for us, why this and that never happened. Listen to me. There is no excuse that is good enough to win for you your failures, or to win for you your mistakes, or to make you become successful when you are a failure. Listen to this. Listen, and listen carefully. It is important for every young leader, because all men were created leaders. It is important to understand this from every age limit, that when you refuse to accept your failures and mistakes, you'll start looking for excuses. And excuses never wins any battle. But excuses will frustrate many that are depending on you. Whether a father, whether a society leader, or maybe a national leader, whatever capacity that you hold, if you are in leadership in whatever capacity, you are going to frustrate many when you are not able to accept your failures and mistakes. Now, what are some of the excuses that leaders will always give when they are not ready to accept their failures and mistakes? There are some who come out clean and say, you know, I'm not a performer because I'm an orphan. Now listen to this. Even an orphan has a deposit of leadership in them. It is not about the condition or the situation where you are. Such should not dictate who you are. You need to understand that leadership is beyond that kind of a situation that you are trying to wrestle with. Leadership is beyond the complicated life that you are trying to tell us about. Listen to this. Accept you failed and correct your mistakes. Accept you got defeated and look for ways out of your own defeats. And then you improve your level of leadership. Don't go for excuses. You know, I'm not educated. Yes, not every one of us will find an opportunity to go to school or to be educated to the levels they desire to be. No, opportunities do not come to all. But that one should not limit any one of us leaders. Listen to this. If you cannot win that other battle there is still something in your mind, in your leadership that can take you to higher heights. So when you start looking for excuses, you hinder God-given potential, God-given leadership. Listen to this. This is not acquired through education. I know leadership. You trained into leadership. Yes, I don't deny the fact. But listen to this. Even before you sharpen your skills of leadership, God has already made you a leader. That is what I'm trying to communicate to us. So let none of us fall short of what they are called to do because of this excuse or that other reason that cannot hold any water. It is important for all of us to understand that what we are calling leadership is inborn. It is God-given. Us is to sharpen the skills therein. Differentiate between issues here. That we were created with this deposit. Ours is to sharpen the skills in order for us to become better leaders than we are today. And that's why as a mentor, I'm taking time to mentor many. I'm taking time to encourage many not to lose heart, but to gain heart and continue. Now listen to this and listen carefully. So others who look for excuses like nobody loves me. You don't need to be loved to become a good leader. Can I say it again? You don't need to be loved to become a good leader. No. You are already a leader in your own capacity. And you don't need to look for an excuse. You know, I was never given any inheritance. With or without inheritance, you are a leader. Don't go that direction. You are trying to deny yourself an opportunity to better yourself. And others will say, you know, I want to drink out my frustration. Now, you are doing it foolishly. You don't go that direction. You don't drink out your frustration. You handle yourself as a man, as a leader. So don't expose yourself to alcohol. Alcohol will only mess you up, and it will never help you gain nothing. Now listen to this. A man ought to understand anytime you start giving excuses as to why it never happened, you are making your way to become a good failure in life. You are preparing a highway that will lead you to becoming a good failure in life. Yes. Can I say it again? Anytime you try looking for excuses why things are not working, my friend, listen to this. You are preparing for yourself a highway that will lead you to total failure. You will become a failure in life. Now others will say, you know, I'm from a very poor background. Listen to this. There are guys that are moving the whole world, of whom their background is bad enough, it's rotten enough. But they refuse their leadership to be compromised. They refuse their leadership to be covered by the kind of history they carry with themselves. Every one of us, I say from the beginning, we suffer weaknesses. Don't judge me by my weaknesses. I might be weak today, but not tomorrow. Don't judge me by my mistakes today. I may make mistakes today, but not tomorrow. Let nobody demean you because of your failures today, because of your mistakes today. As a mentor, I encourage you to rise to the occasion and tell yourself, I'll not look for excuses. They may talk ill of me today, but they'll talk better of me tomorrow. So I encourage you, my sons and daughters, let nobody demean you. Let nobody, bring you down because of their talks and because of their critics. No, such should not worry you. You need to understand that you possess in yourself a God-given potential that no man can destroy. It's only you who can destroy. And so, when excuses don't find any solution, what happens to this young man and also to some old man? Now they engage or they indulge in some defeating activities. Listen to this. Excuses will only channel your effort to nothing. Your efforts and anything that you try to bring about in life will be channeled to nothing. Listen to this. When excuses don't work for you, what are some of the activities that are likely to happen, or that you are likely to involve yourself in, or to indulge yourself in? Listen to this. When your excuses cannot work for you, you start looking for sympathy. Let me tell you, if you start looking for sympathy, you are gone case. Nobody can sympathize with you. People who take advantage of you, not sympathizing with you. Yes, I know there are those of us who show sympathy for some days, but it will not be a trade all the time. That will not be their trade all the time. They sympathize with you today, but tomorrow they criticize you. So it is high time that you know how best to handle yourself when things are not working. Other people start becoming drug addicts. Now, when your excuses don't work for you, whether you like it or not, it is easy for you to find your way to drugs. It is very easy for you to find your way to drugs. So why become a drug addict when you have God-given potential? From today, let me just speak to my boys, the young generation, and even the older generation. Let me tell you, drugs do not pay back anything. It is only patience that pays back a great deal, but not drugs. Hear it from me. It is only patience, because leadership, for you to mature in leadership, there is required a lot of patience. So taking drugs does not pay back anything good. It pays back destruction. But patience in this process of leadership pays back a great deal. So don't rush into something, but be patient enough to grow into that kind of an anointing. Now listen to this. Others become extremists. And for information, we do not have extremists only from the outer circle. We have extremists even in religion. You become a religion extremist. It should not be like that. You are refusing to accept the reality. You are refusing to accept the truth. You don't want to accept your mistakes. You don't want to accept your failures. That's why you want to become an extremist in anything. Do not become an extremist in anything. A mentor is here to train you to understand that it is dangerous to become an extremist in anything. So, a majority of the extremists are people who have failed in their leadership. And I say it again, most extremists are those people who have failed in their leadership. Others involved in illicit drills. Kumi, as we say it in Kenya. Now listen to this. Going for a ship drill doesn't build you up. Doesn't make you man enough. You need to understand that you are destroying your future, and you are destroying a generation, because you carry within yourself generations. So anytime you expose yourself because of your failures and mistakes to illicit drills, now I'm telling you, you don't know the mess that you're putting yourself in and your generations. Others who go to prostitution, and they think by prostituting they are doing themselves a favor. No, you're not wise. Please don't choose that direction. It will not work for you. It can't work for any one of us. It will only destroy us. Please do not go that direction. Accept your mistakes. Reform from your mistakes and become a better person. Have a chance to improve your leadership. Have a chance to develop yourself in your own leadership, and you'll have a bright future. Others who become thieves. waiting for others to labor, only for them to come and steal, you are headed for destruction. There is no room for a thief in this world. If you're not caught today, you'll be caught tomorrow. If you're free today, you'll be in jail tomorrow. So don't go that direction. Don't dare go that direction. It is a dangerous direction. And others will end up saying, even if I kill my father, I don't care, I'll have the inheritance. You are so foolish. When you kill your father, the first thing that comes upon you, or that comes on your life, is a curse. God will make sure that you will die in pain. You cannot kill your father in order for you to have an inheritance and expect that you are going to enjoy. You are going to endure to the grave. So it is important that all of us today get to understand that excuses will never bring to us anything good. Excuses will only lead us into frustrations. Excuses will only lead us into frustrations. That's what I'm saying. Excuses will only lead us into a torn apart life. So today, because I don't want to rush us into this topic, I want to be gradual into what we are teaching ourselves to understand. I want us to go gradually, step by step, because I want to nurture, I want to mentor people until we have the right leaders in society and also in the nations of the world. And so I know this is a bitter herb, but let it be bitter. But at the end of it all, we'll have strong men in our families, we'll have strong men in our society, we'll have strong men in our nation. The Lord bless you and keep you strong. I'll continue sharing with us the words of wisdom. And I believe that the Lord will give you ways out, because such words are healing words. God bless you, even as we bring on air our beloved sister with a song that all of us love. God bless you and God do you good.
Maishani mwangu shukrani ni kwako, kwa kuwa wewe ndiwe unatosha. Nitakupa sifa ewe Eshadai, matendo yako yawe yavuma.